What's going on, everybody? You are watching the Bulls Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, Billy Donovan was talking about Matas Buzelis and how his role has increased after the NBA trade deadline. So I want to give you guys my thoughts on that. And then also on the second half of today's show, with the Bulls having the New Orleans Pelicans second-round pick for this upcoming draft, I want to dive into 5 draft targets that you Bulls fans need to keep your eyes out on. But before we do it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button today. We are closing in here on 15,000 subs. We just need 356 more of you guys to hit that subscribe button today. Join our Bulls Report family here, and you guys will get the best Bulls coverage out there on YouTube. I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you guys. If I think this Bulls organization is an absolute disaster, I'm going to tell you, and also we'll have some elite draft coverage and some game reactions as we close out this season. So hit that subscribe button today and lock us in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel. All right, so Billy Donovan was talking about Matas Buzelis before the game, I believe, against the New York Knicks, and he said it's been a lot harder on Matas, talking about losing guys like Kobe White and Aday at the NBA trade deadline, but he said, but I think in a good way. When Kobe White was here and Aday was here and Vooch was here, even though Buzelis got into the starting lineup, he's now starting to see the best defenders in the league night in and night out. I think that's a great opportunity for him to make a jump because he's starting to learn a lot. The consistency of being able to perform at a really high level against really good defenders and good players is something he's kind of gotten thrust into. And I do think that because of his makeup and competitiveness, how much he leans into that, that could really help him. And this is why I think, even though the trade value that the Bulls got back for Kobe White and Nikola Vucevic wasn't up to par with what a lot of us Bulls fans would have wanted them to get back, this is why trading Kobe and Vooch needed to happen, because you needed to develop your own young talent. And even if a guy like Noah Senge was playing right now for the Chicago Bulls, getting him more touches, getting his usage rate higher, that helps guys develop, because you can have all the offseason workouts you want. You can work on your game, work on that three-point shot, but I think the best type of development comes in the NBA. You have the basketball in your hands, and you're going up against, like Billy Donovan was saying, some of the best defenders in the league every single night. And Matas Buzelis, since the NBA trade deadline, has been pretty solid. I wish we would have seen an uptick on his usage rate and just overall shots he is taking, but there's been a slight uptick, and I think that's why his efficiency has fallen just a tad, but still averaging 14.4 points per night, 5.2 boards. I love his aggressiveness defensively. 2.3 blocks in the month of February is awesome. And his field goal percentage sitting at 42.1, and his three-point percentage sitting in at 33.3. And, when it comes to Buzelis this season, I have been a little disappointed, I think, in the overall production because I just had really high expectations. I thought Buzelis was going to be a guy who was going to be averaging 18, 19, 20 points a game in year 2. I thought he was that special, but what kind of keeps me hanging on and thinking that he can take that all-star jump, maybe that all-NBA jump, is the flashes. This guy's got some of the best leaping ability in the NBA. His handle is ridiculous. He's 6'10". He feels stronger this season. And if he can get that three-point shot to just continue to develop year after year after year, maybe he could take a Jalen Johnson type jump. I think Jalen Johnson is more physically imposing at this point than Buzelis, but also Jalen Johnson's in year 5. Buzelis is in year 2. But maybe once Buzelis is at year 4, at year 5, then we see him trying to take this Jalen Johnson type jump, where Jalen Johnson's one of the best playmakers in the league. He's one of the best rebounders in the league, and he also has a strap on his three-point shot. So that's the type of player I could see Buzelis developing into. And if he turns out to be a guy like Jalen Johnson, that's a top 30 player in the NBA. Jalen Johnson has been absolutely fantastic. He's almost averaging a 23-point triple-double this season with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I think if Buzelis wants to also take that type of jump, probably need to move off a guy like Josh Giddey, just because of Giddey, and what really demands him to be at his best is him having the basketball in his hands. And I will say, in terms of Buzelis, though, being like that first option offensively, I don't think that is ideal for his development. Like, Jalen Johnson is a guy you could toss the ball to, run the offense completely through him. I think Buzelis is a little different, where I think Buzelis is maybe in that Pascal Siakam role, where he's in that 3-4 tweener spot, and he needs an elite playmaker at the guard position to get him the ball. That's what the Bulls are pretty much trying to replicate, what the Pacers have in Halbert and Siakam. They're trying to do the same with Giddey and Buzelis. So I think Buzelis' second year been really solid. I would probably give it a B. I had some high expectations for him, but I'd probably give it a B, maybe a B minus. Wish he would have improved a little more as an on-ball defender this season, but still, overall, flashes are there. I still think this guy is eventually going to be an all-star in the NBA. But you guys let me know. Grade Matas Buzelis' second year in the NBA. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Now we'll talk about some second-round draft targets for you guys here in a second. But let me tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. PrizePicks is also super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. I also have a new feature called early payouts. So if your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. So download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in promo code CONS. Get hooked up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CONS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk about the second round of the NBA draft. Now, the Bulls just had their own pick. Probably wouldn't be doing too much talking about this, but since they do have the New Orleans Pelicans pick, I think it's worth just going over some draft targets here. And the Pelicans, one of the worst teams in the NBA, they're probably going to be picking at around 33, potentially 31 if the Bulls get lucky here. But there's some good options in the second round, and probably my favorite option, and I'm going to completely botch how I pronounce this guy's first name, but Krivas, the center of the Arizona Wildcats. This dude is unbelievable. If you guys have been watching college basketball for the last couple of years, he kind of reminds me of Ryan Kalkbrenner, who was with Creighton, 4-time DPOY in the Big East. But Krivas, big body, 7'3", super long wingspan. He's also been compared to Zydrunas Ilgauskas, former center of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's kind of like that comp there. But he's got some versatility. He's a pretty good passer as well. And he is the glue of that Arizona team. Like, they got some great guards. They got some great wings on the perimeter. But what makes them go is him on the interior and him being that presence. You also feel his physicality on the glass as well. And I think Krivas, like, if the Bulls, if you do go guard in the top 10 with your selection, like, Krivas would be a home run pick in the second round. And also this guy from Kansas, Flory, Bidunga. This guy was fantastic last night. If you guys are watching the Kansas-Houston game, this guy was all over the floor. He can move his feet with guards. He is just an elite defender. He is limited offensively, no doubt about it, but I think with his athletic ability, he can be a solid lob catcher. But this guy's sweet, man. Bidunga is having an awesome year. Bill Self loves him, a switchable defender, so he would be a great pick in the second round. This might be a little biased here, but I'm going with Dailyn Swain, number 3. He's having a fantastic season for Texas. Dailyn Swain, he started off his college career at Xavier. Freak athlete, just kind of known as an elite defender. Comes to Texas, follows Sean Miller there. This guy's taking a serious jump. He's added some size on his frame. He is awesome. I think he's going to be a great – I don't know what his real role in the NBA projects as, but he can handle the ball. He can defend at a high level. His three-point shot is hit or miss, but he can get to the cup pretty decent enough. Maybe he kind of reminds me of a guy like Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But watch out for Dailyn Swain. He'll be a high-risk, high-reward pick in the second round. Then Aday Mara from Michigan, their big fellow. They play him next to Yaxel Lendeborg, which creates one of the best 1-2 punches at the front court in college basketball. But again, this guy's 7'3", big body. He can pass pretty well to the high post as well. So if the Bulls want to go center, there's another good option. Then Milon Momcilovic. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But the Iowa State sniper. This guy's probably the best shooter in the draft. Then he'll end up going in the second round. Iowa State goes as he goes. This guy's got one of the quickest releases in the country. And he is a big reason why Iowa State is where they are right now, being a top 10 team in the country when we are filming this. So watch out for, I think they call him Mama at Iowa State. So he's got some juice to him. Watch out for him in the second round as well. You guys let me know. Name a player you guys want the Bulls to draft. If I had to go any of those second round options, I would probably go Krivas, the center out of Arizona, or Bidunga out of Kansas. Either one of those two bigs I think would be ideal for the Bulls. But if you guys could, hit that subscribe button as well. Keep you guys up to date on everything around your favorite basketball team. I'll catch you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.